cortisol is actually your body's natural anti-inflammatory. So how that's significant here is if you're eating foods that are causing inflammation, or you have toxins in your body that are causing inflammation, or you have imbalance in your what we call male or female hormones, then you're going to have excess cortisol. Hi, welcome this week to The Naked Doctor. I'm Dr. Tammy.
I'm Lauren.
We have a great show for you this week. We are working on our weight loss series. We've done some different parts to kind of help you with that, hormones and stress, and we're going to talk about genetics and sleep, and we are launching a new supplement, so we're super excited about that, and we're going to share that with you on our next show. And Lauren has been working on the website and everything to launch that, so we're super, super excited. So you're going to want to stay tuned to that.
Yep. Well, I mean, you can actually go check it out now if you want.
But is it all ready?
It's ready to go.
So exciting.
It's called CarbMelt.com, CarbMelt.com. That's what the supplement is called as well. So you can go check it out, but we'll kind of be adding things to it over the next week or so, and then also we'll actually use a show to talk about it, what exactly it is, and how you can benefit from it.
Yeah, and
so I'm excited.
It does exactly what the name says. It helps with insulin and sugar, and it basically melts carbs.
It just burns your carbs right up. So I was asking Dr. Tammy if she's seen Mean Girls, because a lot of people would know the reference of Mean Girls, but she hasn't seen it. Nobody that works here except me has seen it. So I'm alone in this, but when there's a part in there where she's talking about these calcium bars and how they just burn carbs, just burns carbs right up. So this actually is something like that. It's a supplement that just burns carbs.
Just burns carbs.
It just burns them right up.
Somebody was asking me today, well, what is it? And then I said, basically, it's a proprietary blend of some white kidney bean extracts and different things. And I said, but actually, if we told you what's the secret ingredient, we'd have to kill you. So
she's scary. She might look sweet and pretty, but
mad scientist.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is all things weight loss, and we really want to help. And I've never been focused on weight loss, so we don't have a whole lot of weight loss testimonials and things like that, because I've always been focused on feeling better, longevity, sustainability, good health, figuring out the underlying cause of people's hormone issues or whatever's causing their weight imbalance. And a lot of times they get balanced and they kind of go off, and it's the sustainable thing where they continue to lose over time. And so they get the education, because that's really, people are like, what are you selling? And, not really selling anything, but we are providing knowledge. So I guess we are kind of selling, but what we sell is empowerment and knowledge. So once people get that kind of core education, then they can take that off and continue to progress with
and
that.
run with it, yeah.
We don't want people to be dependent on us either. We want them to take the knowledge, understand their body, understand what's going on with them, and then be able to live their lives. And, a lot of people, we don't even see, maybe once a year they come in for lab work and just kind of maintain and make sure they're okay.
Yeah.
But I've never really focused on getting testimonies on weight loss and things like that.
Even though sometimes people will come in here and their purpose for coming in here will be weight loss. And, with weight loss comes so many other things, like just being happy, and which is what we're really
getting rid of the brain fog, getting rid of the GI issues.
So weight loss is like one of the benefits of doing what we do. So I know, like in the end, it's like we haven't been kind of narrow focused on just that weight loss concept, because it's so much more than that. But yeah, that's definitely always been a part of the hormone balancing and food sensitivity testing, which I know we'll talk about today.
That's our show today, is the food sensitivities. And, kind of last thing I want to say about that is it's not one thing that gets us overweight. It's lots of things. So you have to address lots of issues. So that's why we're doing this series, there's no quick fix. Sorry, there's no magic pill. So if you're thinking that we've come up with this CarbMelt, but it's been years and years of experience of all these different things going into making. So we have a whole program that goes with it, an eating program and some different information as well. So it's not just that quick fix, but definitely something that'll, give you that momentum and you'll see results. So everybody kind of wants that. And I always say you don't lose weight to get healthy, because people think that being overweight is unhealthy. You actually get healthy and then you lose weight, because it's a hormone issue usually that's causing the resistant weight gain. Because when you're young and your hormones are balanced, you don't have a problem losing weight, right? So as you get more unhealthy, more toxins, more hormone imbalance, you gain weight. It's harder to get rid of the weight. So it all kind of goes together. So we're going to talk about that more on the show, some exciting things. We're going to talk about a little girl who was very, very consistent, and she had some stomach issues and things like that. So we're going to talk about her and how we've started changing her life. And it's exciting. So we'll be right back with the Naked Doctor. Hi, welcome back to Naked Doctor. I'm Dr. Tammy.
I'm Lauren.
We have a great show for you today. We're doing the weight loss series. Everybody's, getting excited about weight loss with spring.
I was about to say, plus summer's coming around. It's a perfect time to talk about that. No more hiding underneath the big jackets and big clothes. Time to get out that bikini, that two-piece. And hopefully, if you've never worn one, we can get you there if you want to wear one.
It was just spring break, and we had 2 really nice days in the upper 50s, 60s, and I was out in the kayak, and I take it for granted, and not to toot my own horn, but I work very hard at, which is what we help people do at going to and I don't really work hard in the gym. We teach people how, and we're going to do our exercise series for the weight loss, but in less than the time that I curl my hair is my gym routine, basically. So, but I'm very consistent with it. I'm very consistent with the knowledge that I've gained about hormones and how food works in my body. And, I also live my life and enjoy my life and eat things that I enjoy eating too. But we did our show on the cheats. We talk about how you can do things and still live your life.
Right.
But I was super glad that I work on myself. I just had my 50th birthday, Sunday, and I feel like I can compete with, anybody younger.
Yep, 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds. I know, it's like you've got the Benjamin Button or whatever.
Oh, bless you.
Benjamina, or whatever the female version name of Benjamin is.
But I wasn't, my point is that I was not embarrassed to put on my bikini, go get in the kayak, and I've just come off the end of a dead winter, when we're all kind of hiding and stuff. And I'm like, I didn't feel like I needed to hide.
Right.
And that is, and I have been 80 pounds overweight. I have had hormone issues. I have felt terrible. So it's a blessing. I have been in pain and fibromyalgia and all that stuff. So to feel good and to feel like I can,
And being in the midst of the menopause, issues and transitions and the hormone fluctuations, it's really nice to understand what food sensitivities, the effect and the role that they play in your weight and the inflammation and what weight gain is and all that stuff. So that's something that I know that people probably don't really understand is what weight gain actually is, and all the effects that certain foods that, even though they might be healthy foods, are not healthy for you. So that's.
I think of it like diesel fuel and unleaded fuel.
Yeah.
Diesel fuel is not a bad fuel, but you put it in an unleaded tank, not gonna go.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's a great analogy because, they're both great sources of fuel, and it's like just like any food. And we test for 96 different foods that are all they're all in the healthy food
asparagus to zucchini, A to Z, and gluten and dairy and everything in between.
And it's crazy seeing all the totally unexpected things that your body's sensitive to that you would have never known. And then realizing all the issues that you've been dealing with and that it's been from the foods that you've been eating, which is crazy, you know, and also really cool to understand that, because that allows you to really, that knowledge is what allows you to maintain your awesome body at 50 years old or however old. And
well, and that's what we use exclusively for weight loss. People come in and they've been like, I've tried the keto diet and this plan and that plan and eating the prepackaged meals and all that stuff. And it's like, we have just this simple solution. I'm going to explain that on the Blackboard segment today, how that actually works scientifically.
yeah.
But we have this easy solution. And, you know, a lot of people, because there's 96 foods, so we're going to talk about this in just a minute, get a little overwhelmed and they're like, how am I going to give up gluten? But it's not about elimination or giving up. It's about substitution. And it's about finding the right cheat so that you can reintroduce these things and have a, you know, more diverse life with these things. But, you know, I actually learned this from a chiropractor going on about 10 years now, or 10 years ago. And he was using it for chronic pain and inflammation. And so as I learned about it, got rid of my own pain and inflammation. And then I'll explain how it helps balance your hormones as well. But that inflammation is really weight gain, or being overweight is inflammation. You know, people come to me and they say, don't eat that much. And I believe them. I'm like, you're just inflamed and you're toxic.
Yeah. And it's consistent. You see that a lot with different people. Well, and what's crazy is that it's not just people who are older or people who are going through any sort of menopause, or somebody who's over 30 or whatever. I actually did a food sensitivity test on my daughter because she's only 10, but she was having stomach issues. And, you know, I wasn't exactly sure what it was from. But of course, you know, she comes back and she's got a gluten sensitivity. She's got a, you know, dairy sensitivity. And then bananas and a lot of actually the same things that I have. I'm sensitive to.
Mushrooms?
Huh? And let's see, you know, mushrooms are one of my big ones. It's like, no. Yes, mushrooms, cabbage, broccoli.
So there's a genetic component, and we talked about that one day, you being really tired and you didn't realize you'd eaten mushrooms, and that was on
I didn't know. I had the worst brain fog. I was just like, almost like in dreamland. You know, you wake up and you're like, I dreamed like 5 times that I texted you and was like, oh, I'm going to be late, or what time do we need to be there? But none of it happened, and I just couldn't wake up. And then it was really hard for me to wake up, and I was like, what is wrong with me? And I had eaten like a giant thing of mushrooms the night before, so it's like, oh, that's what it is. But actually, another thing that happened to me with my food sensitivities was, and I didn't even know it was associated with this. I was getting these bone spurs in my elbows, and I've seen other patients who have come in, and some of their issues that they've had, weirdly enough, are in their elbows. And I'm not sure if that's a detox area or
carpal
what.
tunnel, or any kind of joint, it can accumulate gout and then.
Okay, yeah. So that I guess that makes sense then, but. It was just interesting because I didn't know it had anything to do with that. And then I did this test and stopped eating. You know, I did my detox process and everything. And I didn't even really realize I was having like any really issues. You know, I just did the test because I was interested. And plus, like, if there's like a little problem, I'm kind of like, I'm good, you know,
but
whatever.
You wouldn't have known that had you not done the test.
I would not.
You just thought it was a day of like, I'm just
feeling
yucky today for whatever reason.
Exactly. And then, for the brain fog part. And then the bone spurs, I didn't even think about it till later on. And I was like, you know what? My elbows don't hurt anymore. Like, I couldn't even touch them. They hurt so bad. And they stopped hurting. I was like, oh my gosh, that's why. It's because of the food. It's crazy. That's what was causing the issues in my elbows. And so now I'm just very aware of what I eat. And, you know, like you said, it's like having that knowledge is so empowering to be able to make the decisions for yourself that can prevent you from gaining weight or from having issues or pain or brain fog or, you know, stomach ache and a number of things, or even, you know, for your kids too.
Well, when I first learned about this, it was actually from the chiropractor because they can't do pain meds, right? So they have to find the underlying cause. And so he was using that to decrease inflammation. And my very first patient I ever did this on was a hormone patient and got her hormones balanced, but she was still having a lot of pain. And at her 3-month follow-up, she was completely pain-free from her chronic pain issues. And she was a little upset because somebody had done this test on her like 5 years before, and she'd suffered all that time.
Because she didn't follow it.
Yeah, she didn't think it was real.
Right.
So I'm going to talk about the science behind how it is very real.
Yeah.
And so she didn't follow it, and like your daughter has followed it to the T, right?
Yeah.
So, and you know,
she's like, Mom, I can't eat bananas. I'm like, you're okay. You can have one. No, I cannot eat any bananas. And I'm like, okay, here's a sandwich. I can eat bread. I can't have gluten. I don't know. I'm like,
wish every patient was that good.
I know,
right?
like, I love you so much, but I need you to eat too. But it's so true. And now I'm having to find alternatives, which is, you know, this is a good practice for me too.
Yeah, and you also know that her stomach pain is gone now. So
yeah, she hasn't had any. Every day when I was driving her to school, like I would have to stop somewhere for her to go to the bathroom before we got to school because whatever, it didn't matter what breakfast she was eating, it was causing her all these stomach issues. And, you know, not to throw her dad under the bus, but he was giving her bread and like cinnamon toast after school as a snack every day. And so the bread was just tearing her stomach up. And so, you know, when she was with me, you know, even if I had her eating healthy food, it was, her stomach was still, you know, her gut was still inflamed and tearing and causing all these issues, you know, which I know can lead to so many other issues. And as a child going through major hormone changes at 10 years old, you know, who knows what other hormone issues it could cause, you know? So
we can prevent that, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's lots of indications for chronic disease. It's not just stomach issues. If you have autoimmune, I'm going to talk about the gut here in just a minute and how that all plays in. But gaining weight, especially that resistant weight that you can't exercise more and eat less and lose, is all about inflammation, cortisol, hormone related, and toxins. So it's super important for your people to understand this. And then also, as the years have progressed, people have lost weight. And for me, getting my hormones balanced after I had that tremendous weight gain after my hysterectomy, it was really this that got the last 5 to 10 pounds off. So, and kept it off. So it's like, you know, everybody says they struggle with that last 5 to 10 pounds, and this has been consistently the thing that has helped the most with that maintenance and for getting off that stubborn last bit, because it is about inflammation and how your body processes food. Food is medicine, you know.
Totally. And this is really cool. This book is actually really cool. I'll tell you really quick what it has in it. It's like, it's got like a whole overview for you. It's personalized. It's got replacement foods for the things that you're sensitive to. It kind of tells you a little bit about food sensitivities. There's like, it's probably like a 30-page
card
book.
You can carry around in your wallet.
Yeah, so there's a card in the last page that you can actually carry on or take a picture of, whatever, so that you can, you know, have that reminder of what you are sensitive to. It's really, really cool to have.
And then, so once you get this test, it basically tells you all the foods that they've tested for, and then in red are the foods that you're sensitive to, and then they rate it 1 through 3, and I'll explain that a little bit on the Blackboard segment, but it helps you sort of gauge, do I have to be really careful with this food? Can I be a little more lax with this food? So, yeah, super cool.
Awesome.
Great. And then usually we talk about some different gut repair supplements and things like that you can take during the time, and I'll explain that in the Blackboard segment as well. So you want to hang tight for that, and we're going to get some nerdy science going on up in here. See you right back here on The Naked Doctor. Hi, welcome back to the Naked Doctor segment. On the chalkboard, we're going to talk a little nerdy science. So one of the first things I want to start with is hormones, of course. So I want to just kind of remind you, we've done this in a lot of segments, that cholesterol is actually a hormone, this sterol, and that gets converted into progesterone and estrogen, and I'm being really brief here, and then testosterone. But there's a side pathway that makes cortisol. And why is that important? Well, if you look at the balance between these hormones and this hormone, kind of like a seesaw, if these are out of balance, then this can get out of balance, and vice versa. And everybody knows cortisol, belly fat. Cortisol is actually your body's natural anti-inflammatory. So how that's significant here is if you're eating foods that are causing inflammation, or you have toxins in your body that are causing inflammation, or you have imbalance in your, quote, what we call male or female hormones, then you're going to have excess cortisol. Cortisol actually upregulates belly fat to protect you, to move those toxins away from the internal organs. So why does that happen? Well, if you looked at the small intestine under a microscope, so here's the body here of a person. We'll have him waving hello. Oh, it looks like he's flipping somebody off. It's kind of fun, isn't it? So the esophagus comes here and the stomach here and then the small intestine. And if you looked at the small intestine under a microscope, you'd see that that's one cell layer thick in the lining of the intestine. And so what happens is there's this protective layer over there that when you digest your food, only little particles of the food, magnesium, B12, vitamin D, all those little particles get here. And then we'll do this, you got it, with red. So this is the bloodstream here. And then all these little nutrient particles go to the bloodstream. Well, what happens is when you have something called leaky gut, this gets disrupted here. And now literally, if you're not digesting your food properly, it hits the bloodstream and it's triggering what we call an antibody antigen response. It's kind of like a little lock and a key. So this is like a protein from a food. This could be gluten, this could be dairy.
So this is something that didn't break down.
Right, something that didn't break down. So we call this an antigen, and we abbreviate that AG. And then this is an antibody, we abbreviate that AB. And this is your body's white blood cells. So the reason I said this is a legitimate test is because this is a test that's used to test for Lyme's disease, for HIV. It's an ELISA test where they use a gel electrophoresis. And what happens is these antigens respond to your antibodies from your blood. So they take a little piece of protein from like the milk or, from the dairy, and then they check it against your white blood cells and see how far it goes across this gel electrophoresis. So this is a significant real test that's used in medicine.
This is the IgG?
Yes, IgG. So one thing I want to point out is when we call this a food sensitivity, really what's happening is it is a food allergy, but it's a different class that we're testing for called IgG in the bloodstream versus IgE. So if you have an IgE, like a peanut allergy, that's immediate. It happens within 3 to 5 minutes. You're going to the ER for an epi shot, and you don't need a blood test to tell you that you've got an IgE reaction.
And it'd be pretty obvious. Swelling, whatever.
So I like to think of this. There's 4 different antibodies, white blood cell groups that you can have. White blood cells fight infection in the blood. So there's IgG, IgM, IgA, and IgE. Thank you. So, hey, it's game. GAME.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So IgE is immediate. You don't need a blood test for that, if you've got a peanut allergy. So they're all allergies. But because IgG is a delayed response, happens within 3 days, you might not know. Like you knew instantly the next 24 hours that you ate mushrooms, but you might not know for 3 days. And it's an accumulative effect. So if you're constantly eating things that are triggering this response, and I like to think of it like Army, Navy, Air Force, and Reserves. So the reserves actually come on the scene later. So the cause and effect is blurred. You eat gluten and 3 days later you feel tired or sluggish or brain fog or your elbows hurt. You're not going to relate that like you're going to with an IgE reaction. Right. This can cause stomach upset. It causes autoimmune conditions because when this gets disrupted, 80% of your immune system is in the gut, and 80% of your serotonin, which is your happy hormone. So depression can come from this. So if you have mood imbalances, hormone imbalances because of the cortisol, if you have autoimmune conditions, rheumatoid arthritis, autoimmune thyroid, all that comes from here and it's all related.
Yeah, so being overweight and unhappy correlate on different levels than you may even realize. It's not just a psychological thing. It's a literal serotonin effect from the food and from your gut, which is interesting.
Right.
It's like, so basically clearing this, even if you hadn't lost weight yet from doing that, will help your mood.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Everything gets clear. Sleep starts getting better. You start getting more serotonin.
So with this, let's say that like they didn't, over time, would you say that this may start as something minimal, but over time it gets worse and worse and worse?
Oh, absolutely. Accumulates, and you're eating these things that you think are healthy. Like one of the things on my list was almonds. I was eating almonds all the time thinking that's so healthy for me, right? And it was like a 3 on my thing.
Gosh.
It's rated 1 through 3. And
it's like alternative to dairy milk.
Yes,
or like
yes.
milk.
And like a healthy snack. And every time I ate it, my stomach would hurt. And I had a good friend who had lettuce, thinking, salads were healthy, right? And he would feel terrible and couldn't digest it and would get achy. And I was always doing, having to help him with his joints and stuff. So this is super powerful. And our new supplement, CarbMelt, actually works if we were to draw the pancreas over here.
Would you like the green?
Yeah, let's do a little green for the pancreas.
I'll take the white.
And what happens is the pancreas actually secretes digestive enzymes into the small intestine, but it also regulates a hormone called insulin. Ooh, that's not going to show up very good, is it? We'll do that in white. Also regulates a hormone called, now it's a little mint green, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like St. Patrick's Day. Or mint chocolate chip cookies. Oh, we won't say that on a weight loss show. But insulin actually helps regulate your carbs or your sugar. And so it's all tied into both the digestive tract and hormones. So you have to heal the digestive tract, the gut, as we call it, healthy gut, get rid of the leaky gut. And you want everything working properly hormonally with the endocrine gland system, as it's connected with the digestive system as well. So our CarbMelt actually helps your insulin work better.
Which will be a good start, would you say, to this process? Or, kind of just with the leaky gut in general? Is that...
Yeah, well, it's going to help insulin work better. So what we do is in our starting program, if you don't do food sensitivities, we actually have a meal program at CarbMelt.com where we'll tell you how to avoid the 8 most common food sensitivities. So you can kind of create a little diet around, I hate to use the word diet, but meal plan around that while you're taking the CarbMelt. And then we're also going to introduce some other supplements like our lipomelt and our cellulite melt and things like that. So it's a little bit more systemic approach as well. And we've got lots of programs as well to help with all sorts of different things. But starting with the gut is really core. So that's why we have the diet meal program, and then helping the carb sensitivity things as well will help balance all this out as well. Yeah. All right. Hope this was helpful. We'll see you right back here on The Naked Doctor in just a few minutes. Hi, welcome back to The Naked Doctor. We've had a great show for you today. Hopefully you've learned a lot about food sensitivities and how to change your life, how to decrease your inflammation, and this is part of our weight loss series. So we're super excited. We're launching our new CarbMelt and working with people to help them balance all their hormones. I've worked with people for almost 20 years now as a doctor, and getting their hormones balanced and helping them with weight loss, which is a side effect of getting healthy. But super excited about this new supplement because it's amazing to help people with sugar utilization, which is our number one thing that we fight, I believe, in our society.
Yeah, I believe that.
The biggest challenge.
Yeah, especially here.
Yeah, in the U.S. for sure.
Yeah, and if you are interested in getting your food sensitivity testing, you can go to our website, book an appointment, healingartcenters.com. We'd love to have you in here and, go over the process with you and help the gut heal and educate you as much as possible on, what steps you can take to really feel better.
Check us out on Facebook, The Naked Doctor, and The Naked Truth about health, wellness, and lifestyle. We've had so many people asking us, why The Naked Doctor?
What is The Naked Doctor?
The Naked, thought we put a little more plug in about that. So
we'll change the open to say exactly what that is. But yes, The Naked Truth about health, wellness, and lifestyle, and that's exactly what we do, is try to educate you on that, giving you the raw, naked truth.
Yeah.
Dirty or not.
And we have a free ebook that has a lot of information in it that'll be available on the website.
Yes.
CarbMelt.com. You want to go check that out and put in a whole lot of information out there on our programs and things like that as well. So we'll see you back here next week on The Naked Doctor. We love you. Have a blessed week.
Thanks for watching.